And I could say hi to them. And I really feel good with myself.
Okay, Cindy, we're here.
Okay.
So you want to introduce yourself?
Okay. Well, first off, my name's not Cindy. It's TANIYA.
Okay.
Um,
Your name
Most of
is.
the time, I don't go by anything other than my real name because it doesn't help you when you're in trouble to be somebody else to be calling you by a name that doesn't exist.
Okay, and here we are in Barrie, Ontario, talking to Tiana, and Tiana has wants to tell us a little bit about her struggle with addiction and living homeless in Barrie, Ontario. And so, how did this begin with you, Tiana? How did you first become involved with drugs?
Well, I think when I was younger, I had something called atopic dermatitis, which is just an extreme version of eczema that would put me in the hospital because of extreme stress that would cause me to do night terrors. And I had to have something that would put me to sleep at nighttime so that I wouldn't tear my skin from my body. And then I had a grandmother who had congestive heart failure and couldn't do anesthetic. So the way of my entire world was to make sure you had every medication you needed to make sure every part of your body worked. And then to do that, there was something else. Oh my God. And it just gradually went from that to smoking weed to everything else.
And how old were you when you had to take that kind of medication for that disease you were talking about?
Um, I think I was like 5 or 6.
5 years old?
Yeah.
And you
I
had
had
to
to
take
get, I had to
medication
take
at 5 years old?
medication for my skin, which was a topical steroid. And then I had to take, it wasn't so much an antidepressant later on in life when they put me on.
Okay, how about we just back it up a bit? Like,
Yeah.
let's go back to when you were a child. Like, where are you from originally?
I was born in North York, Toronto Hospital.
North York,
I lived
Ontario.
with my grandmother and my great aunt throughout the course of my growing up years. Whenever they couldn't handle or they couldn't take care of me, they would pass me between the two of them. So I basically I'm still a standing person who has 3 mothers. My grandmother and my great aunt are now passed away, but they showed me a lot about how you had to take care of yourself and how you had to present yourself and how you had to be so that people wouldn't remove you from where you were and you were becoming a big nuisance. From then on, it just became one thing after the next, and they say that weed is not a gateway drug. It most certainly is. I think anything prescription, anything grown legal in a farm or in your backyard is all just based on it being a drug. And the drug of choice is
So, Tiana, not to cut you off.
no.
Sorry. What are you using right now? What is your
No sleep. What used to be fentanyl. I used to start off being a crackhead so that I could stay awake.
Okay? So you like taking fentanyl, but you smoke crack just to stay awake?
No, I don't smoke crack at all.
Oh,
I used to. I have an addictive personality, so basically what I was saying was there isn't anything um, that I wouldn't or hadn't or haven't tried. And unfortunately, the last of my addiction was the fentanyl, and I had to extremely weave myself off of that on my own so that I could get my teeth looked after, so that I could have surgeries that my body needed, without being stuck in this stasis of, half in, half out. I don't like it. I don't want to like it, and I'm constantly in pain. So
What are you constantly in pain from?
I had major spine surgery.
Oh, you had a
Five
major. I
years
see.
ago.
I never knew that.
No?
I've actually known you for quite some time.
Yeah, I
Because
had major spine surgery done because I had two abscesses explode in my back.
oh
Um,
wow, I'm sorry to hear that.
Really sorry. And then I had,
Well, it's horrible, you know.
that was all up in the upper part of my body. The lower part of my body, it would have been just down. It would have been fentanyl.
So you're taking a lot of medications now, just to subdue the pain from the spinal
It's not even a subdue. It's to function.
dysfunction.
It's
Well,
to
that's what I meant.
function,
Sorry.
and there would be no way um, if I hadn't had something, that I would be standing here right now. I would be laying on the ground right here right now if I haven't had something. What I chose to have, could have been anything from extra strength Tylenol to smoking marijuana to having a Percocet to just about anything, to obtain a calm for my back so that I can do other things. Unfortunately, other things aren't always the greatest in the world, but with COVID, there's absolutely nothing going on in this city, and it is boring as hell. And it just isn't. It isn't where I want to. Where I don't want it to be. I don't
Okay.
want it to be like this for me. I don't want to be half in and half out, but I don't want to be crying because I'm sore. I don't have anybody here. There's just me. There's just
Yeah.
me. My son was passed away. My daughter lives in Wawa, and my youngest lives in Six Nations. And because I was an only child, that I don't have the relatives to say, "Hey, let me help you for a while. Let me make sure you're okay in there. Because if you're not, I would like to know." I just realized that.
Now the thing, why don't you go back home with your family? You said
Because there's
at Six
nothing there
Nations.
for me either. There's nothing there for me.
There's nothing here. Like,
And there's nothing there except to relive and rehash all of the old memories with my son. There's nothing there except for, having to explain to people what happened to my son while I was up here.
now,
And I'm not ready for that.
may I ask you, what happened to your son? If
From
you
what the
want.
police said, he overdosed on fentanyl.
Okay, you overdosed. When did that happen? How long ago?
Well, I do believe like the fifth of the month would have been 2 months. 2 months, this 12.
Oh, 2 months ago. And what was his
No, a
name?
year and 2 months.
What was
Sorry.
his name? So we can.
Zachary John Pine.
Zachary John Pine. May he
Yeah,
rest in peace.
yeah.
You know, that's another part of making these documentaries is that so a lot of people can be remembered, Tiana,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah. He didn't need to have his name up in lights. He never wanted to be uh, somebody that, was controlling a whack of people for whatever reason it may be, such as, selling crystal meth or selling something in order to make money. Um, he would always find something different to do or better to do other than just selling drugs. And right now I'm stuck in a position that because I'm not from here, because my son wasn't from here, um, I'm running out of issues. I'm running into issues that is preventing me from getting an apartment.
What kind of issues are causing you to rent an apartment?
My reputation.
Your reputation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
Is,
had a lot of manic moments downtown, and I have a lot of carefree moments when it came to drug use. Like, I
but
made it in a lot of people's faces that,
okay, that's fine. I understand what you're saying. But say if you were to move on the south end, right, and fill an application out, you're on social services, I guess, right?
yeah,
And then you could just fill out. They would have no idea about your downtown reputation. You don't have nothing to worry about it, right?
I don't believe that that's 100% true. I think that no matter where you are, word of mouth travels faster than
No,
anything else.
that is true as well.
Because yeah, there are things that I've met people just recently who knew a lot more about me than I did. Oh, excuse me.
That's
So,
okay. Bodily functions, we all have them.
oh yeah, I had cancer last year in my lower intestine, and
Oh, so you had cancer
yeah, I had
and you
to,
you defeated it?
yeah,
Oh, good for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Not too
That's
many.
really hard to do out here because there's nobody to celebrate with you.
No, absolutely. It's because
There's
you're out in the street.
nobody out here that will take care of your moment. And
So, talking about apartments and stuff, what's your living arrangements now? I don't think I asked you yet.
I pretty much sleep wherever I can land that's warm.
Okay, so you're homeless, is what you're.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a tent. Somebody stole it with all my belongings in it.
So, how do you
I,
find out in the streets in Barrie? Is it safe out here at night, or
no,
can it be sketchy?
it's superbly sketchy out here. There are people that want to know who you are and where you live, and
Like
take
there's
me to your leader kind of thing.
like
And
people you never seen before.
yep,
Okay, okay. So
or
there's a lot.
people that I have seen before that are acting different. That
So
are just acting different.
get a lot of people that we don't know, just regular people, just driving around preying on people in the middle of the night. You're saying?
I don't know if they're preying on people or what they're doing. I notice with a lot of
I heard.
crystal meth users that, they don't have the family support that they would love because their family
Yeah.
is afraid of them uh, during, during whatever. Uh, yeah. So it's really hard because, you know, I would really love to sit out here all night and shoot the shit about what makes my boat rock and what doesn't, and what scares me and what does. But um, what time is it?
Well, my projective with this is try to maybe get you some supporters to help you. Maybe I'll put this on the online and people will watch it and they can relate to you. And maybe you can even help someone. Maybe if someone's going
I'm
through.
always here for chit chat. I'm always here
Absolutely.
to hear somebody's story and their side of their story.
I know you are. You're very
And
lovely.
I'm always here to really listen to what people have to say. And I can only give you my version of how I made it through, and the other one is a version that you would have to make a decision on how to relate that to your position, and then go from there. Because I can't do anything to force you to go down the right road. I can tell you what right road was for me
Absolutely.
and how hard it is and how hard it gets.
There's some young people out there right now experimenting with drugs, and they're just having a good time. They think they're having a good time, but they don't know the lasting effects of it. And the lasting effects are the streets, right?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And
Every time you hear a siren, you have to know,
yeah,
you have to
siren,
wonder if the siren is for you because you've been sitting down too long.
or maybe the sirens are for someone you know.
Oh, yeah, it normally is always the sirens of somebody I know.
We've
And
had a
then
lot
you
of,
always have to make sure that you pay attention to things because if you don't, you could miss supper. And there isn't anything. There isn't anything out there that can help you when you're hungry, except for stealing. And I'm not for all of that, nor am I against it when I had to look for stuff for myself, you know. Yeah, but the one thing you have to remember is the person you took it from. How badly do they feel because they don't have that now? And a lot of people don't ever go there. You don't ever go, oh, geez, I got this really cool bike and everything's awesome about it. I love the handlebars. Oh yeah, the handlebars reminded me when I was at my age, riding a banana boat, and but the seat was coming off and blah blah blah. And that's just how it goes.
So, Tiana, just to get off the subject for a quick second,
Yeah,
my buddy Mal, he always asks the same question to people in Philadelphia. So, what's your favorite color?
my favorite color is red
Red. Why red?
because I think it exudes confidence. I think it exudes somebody that says I'm right here.
Yeah, you know what?
And don't forget that I am.
Red's my favorite color too. See, I'm wearing
Yeah,
red.
yeah, right down to the van, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to have just shades as my favorite colors, but black and white. But a lot of that had to do with my mood, uh,
yeah. So,
depression, and having to deal with being by myself
oh, I know
is a
about
big thing.
depression and anxiety. I deal the same.
Yeah,
And your favorite food? What's your favorite food?
my favorite food. Oh my God. Okay, number one, if I had all my teeth in my mouth, my favorite food would be corn on the cob with king crab legs and prime rib steak.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite too. I always
Yeah.
love a nice. If it's done just right, nice
See, and I
prime.
like my steak still mooing, so I have to figure something out, right?
If
And then
you,
and I'll tell you, and the worst thing for somebody or anybody down here is the fact that when you're a woman, you have to be very careful
yes,
who you talk to, how you talk to, and what information you give out because it doesn't take much but to walk down a dark alley and run into the wrong person
absolutely.
who takes advantage of everything that you just told them because what? Uh, because you are alone and they know how to take advantage of that.
Because you're vulnerable.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? And I can't I can't hide behind the fact that I'm here and I'm by myself. I tell everybody. So I make a lot of noise when I do things, so people will know when I'm not here. And that's a crazy thought to have to do something to make people aware of you. And unfortunately, with my son dying the way he did, and um, and and the way I dealt with my trauma, a lot of people are reminded of me in a very negative way, and it's a very hurtful. Oh, yeah, there's a bug in there. It's a really hurtful way to think that people have to remember you uh, by realizing that you're the girl that freaked out downtown, for weeks in and weeks on end because your son died. And then you have other people who are very opinionated about how your son died, and you
Yeah,
have
it'd
to
be
be
hurtful
careful.
to have to relive that moment every time.
Or, the last thing she said to me was, "Do you think, Tania, that your son killed himself because he had a goof like you for a mother?" And never in my lifetime have I ever had anyone in my life, around my life, or within my life use my son's death to hurt me.
Don't you dare say that I wanted everything to fall apart when it's haunting me. 'Cause my only crime was hoping there is something more than this loneliness I feel. But no one makes me feel less alive. We're fighting fire. The way you push my buttons just right. We're fighting fire. When two voices of nature collide. We're fighting fire. Can't help but feel the temperature rise.
She chose to believe an outsider about something about me, and long story short, the last thing she said to me was, "Do you think, Tania, that your son killed himself because he had a goof like you for a mother?" And never in my lifetime have I ever had anyone in my life, around my life, or within my life use my son's death to hurt me.
That's a horrible thing for someone to say.
And the woman that chose to say that has children of her own who are in their teenage years that I know how to get involved with, that I know how to call or Google or whatever it may be. But that woman could never in my lifetime have an effect on me or my emotions or my well-being, that I would ever feel the need to have to hurt her like that. And the sad part about that is, because she did that, she probably lost the only genuine person that will ever be out there for a very long time. And I've done some bad things in my life, not extremely bad, but I've owned them.
We all make mistakes.
And we've gone through them. And she's also said, you know, don't worry, I'm glad you admitted to it, and we'll never bring it up again. And because she was so unsure of what was really going on, it was the only way to get a reaction from me that she could tell if I was lying or not. And I'll tell you, I see her every day, and she's always staring at me. And I refuse to give her anything to benefit her emotion or how she feels about what she said to me. Oh, I did get her because it upset her. It didn't upset me to the point that it hurt me. And unfortunately, please don't take this the wrong way, because like everyone needs to vent. Yep. It upset me to the point that if she ever said anything to me like that again, I'd be worried about her safety and not mine. I don't think anybody deserves to have that kind of hurt brought to them in such a way that it adds to whatever's going on in your life. You know, everybody has a tragedy or a tragic or a trauma that brought them to this position right here. And some people don't know how to get out of it. Some people know how to get out of it, but refuse to get out of it. They don't want to get out of it. They're happy dwelling in whatever it is they are. And there are people like me who have done some really shitty stuff out loud in public that people, I don't know, maybe just don't want me around, or, you know, are afraid that I'm going to not change.
What kind of people? Like the normal people, we'll say?
I'm talking about business proprietors, normal people walking around.
Yeah.
Think that, you know, maybe I'm never going to change again. so maybe I should just move away.
Well,
It
you have a
can't
right
always
to be
be
here
like
just
that.
like everyone else, you know?
Yeah, I totally understand
You
that
don't
as
have to
well.
move away.
But it's gotten to a point now that I've done some things and I'm trying to do what I can to change the way my life is. And in that little nutshell right there, the only thing that's going to help any of these people get off the street is to become stable. And that itself will take a year, if not more, to do once they find themselves a place to live. And the landlord that rents to them really has to read and understand and research people as a whole when it comes to being homeless, because I know the first time I get a place, I'll be lucky I'd be home for the first 30 days. Just because I'm so used to this life outside that being inside and claustrophobia being one of my big things, I'd be afraid that would affect my relationship with my landlord to the point that he would say, well, if you're not going to be there, why do you have the apartment? Well, it's not that I don't want the apartment. It's just trying to learn how to be inside at an appropriate hour, to be quiet, or to have acknowledgement and respect for someone else who lives within, within the other side of the wall.
You know, it's no one's business if you go out of your house or go in your house, or how long you've been out, or how long you stay. I don't really think any landlord will care about that. Actually,
I know a landlord that cares the fact that I stand on Maple Street every day.
A lot of landlords would like that because they don't have to worry about the hydro, you know?
And they don't want me in their building because I stand on Maple Street on a daily. And I don't do that anymore on a daily, but because I've been seen out here, she doesn't want me to be seen within her building. So a lot of the places take that book, they judge that cover, and they refuse to read the inside because it becomes like redundant Groundhog Day, where it just, the excuses and the reasoning sounds so much the same every day, all the time, that people just start to say it's got to be bullshit. It has to be a lie. It can't really be that bad. But when I did the Trinity Warming Center opening for everybody last year, I had 6 elderly ladies come up to me and tell me that they would have never had a single clue about why people were homeless or why women would choose homelessness over anything else, because they just couldn't understand it. And for whatever I said on that CTV moment, put a big light on them for them to see why women are the way they are, and they did some things to change to help other women get off the street. And unless we have more shelters or more programming or more ways to teach people to go from nothing to everything, there's always going to be this amount of people out here. There always are going to be this amount of people who are hurt out here.
Do you feel Barrie doesn't have enough programming for addicts? And
yeah, I 1000% believe that there's nothing else to do but to
so that they kind of
stand around and get high sometimes, because there is. I mean, I don't know what by law and what cities do when they have extreme like COVID, when I don't know what changes things, that given any day we can walk around in circles without our masks and look at each other and say hi and cough, but we can't gather in a room with all the windows open and do the same thing and laugh and be comfortable. So I don't understand the political side of that, nor do I really want to. I think people should just make a decision that, yeah, they're going to have fun and go see these things and try these things and do all of them in hopes that you don't get COVID.
Yeah.
Or is COVID really real? Is it just something to calm down the way of an addict's world so that the rest of the world can get together to fix it so that we don't belong anymore? And for whatever it's worth, I find that we're at a 60, 70 percentile moment when it comes to people outside in the day, that there are more homeless people outside than there ever will be in normal people.
That's funny you say that because when the COVID was over, before the COVID, I pretty much knew everybody down here because I
Yeah.
was coming down here and I used to volunteer with the church and all that.
Yeah.
And I knew everyone. Then when the COVID hit, the whole place shut down for 2 years. And then when it opened back up, there's so
Yeah.
many new faces, so many new people have come into the city that even I don't know as someone who works in the community. You know?
Well, we were just talking about that tonight. It's just like there's a handful of people here who are here that none of us know. These people are calling me Mama T and I don't know who they are. And I would like to know who they are
And how they know your name.
And they're a little on the weird side, but you know, I'd like to make sure that they're okay as well.
Yeah.
Where are you going? Huh? Do you have a light? And I say hi to everybody whether I know them or not, because you know what? In the very, very long run, that's all people want out here.
Hey, that's Chris. Yeah, everyone knows Chris.
Yeah. Chris is a pain in the butt.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
He has a girlfriend now. I didn't know that.
Okay, I want to ask you, if you had any superpowers, right? I know it's just to make you laugh now. What would you want to be? Be able to fly, or be invisible, or whatever you can think of.
I think if I had any superpowers, what I want to be the only one without them.
To be the only one without superpowers?
Yeah.
Why? What's
So that everybody else could get their shit done and I could sit idly by and wait for them to be finished so that I could write a book.
Okay. So you wouldn't want to like fly or anything like that? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll respect.
I walk everywhere faster than any bus in this town or faster than anybody else anyway. I am on my feet sometimes 24 hours a day, if not 12. I suffer a lot, but I don't have a choice. And my choices now are trying to make my things better. And hopefully, in the end, actually, I have an interview this Wednesday at Lucy's place to get me off the street because I've been here a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I'm going to make it this year. That hopefully by next week, I'll have a place to live. And I really did fight for that. I went every week and fought tooth and nail with people who didn't want to meet me and didn't want to talk to me in regards to their home and renting their home.
I don't want to cut you short.
It's okay.
But Lucy's place, like, a lot of people are not going to know what that is because it's going to be a lot more than people in Barrie watching this channel.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain?
Lucy's place is like a Canadian mental health issue. It's trying to show you how to restart and live once you've been in a position like me and living on the streets. Some people forget, that you have to wash the dishes and flush the toilet and, and that there are things you can't do within your home that you can outside of your home. So it's like transitioning from being homeless to living within a dwelling and paying rent and paying bills with the help of and guidance of counselors, to eventually living in some place all by yourself and being a big kid now for the rest of your life. And sometimes that doesn't always mean like, just get old and get it done. I just mean just pay your rent and remember what it's like to be out here when you're cold. And don't do it again.
So you have a meeting there this week, you said?
This Wednesday morning at 9:30. I was the last applicant to do my application, and I'm the first one to have an interview. So by the sounds of it, I'll have a place to live.
Okay.
So I've been told anyway.
So today's October the 16th. So to see what things, maybe next time I see you, I'll have a different story to tell
I
me.
definitely will. I'll make sure of it.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. You know, everyone hopes the best for you, even Chris here.
Yeah. And definitely, I'm not done yet. I have things I'm doing for my son. I'm doing things for my son because I feel like he was
A memorial for your son.
the
Yeah.
memorial for my son, the memorial for Ryan's hope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I'm yet to be. I'm not done here. I
That's
still
good.
want to leave my snail trail on the sidewalk just like everyone else.
That's
So,
good. And you know what? And I'm going to do my best to help you leave that snail
Awesome.
trail, as you say.
awesome. And I'm going to do my best to let you.
Yeah, perfect. Then we'll get this out to everybody. Like,
Yeah.
you know, then this will not be just, I sound like Mal now, I'm stuttering.
All good.
It's like the whole world will know your struggle, and you
Yeah.
have a lot of support behind you, you know?
And don't edit it, because you know what? Everybody likes me because I'm real.
No, I'm not going to edit it, but I'm going to add a little intro to it and
Yeah.
put a little music to it. Maybe cut out the cars and the
I like
mufflers.
the old rap music, so you know the
Well, you
real
see,
rap
I gotta be
music.
careful. I can't use copyright stuff. I have to use special music.
Well, maybe we'll call those people and see if we can use them.
Oh, I can't afford that. Well,
Nothing like a phone call.
no, we'll
Just
see.
because I'm homeless doesn't mean I don't know people.
No, I know. You told me about your cousin.
Yeah,
Do you want to talk about that, or you just want to leave that
no,
for?
I'm good. I'm
No,
good.
okay, no, I don't. No, I'm not going to get into that.
No, I'm good.
That's perfect.
Great.
Okay, I think that's a wrap. We've been here for about half an hour,
Yeah,
45
and I'm
minutes.
getting cold now too.
Yeah, you're getting cold. Okay.
All right. We'll
know
see
what?
you the next time for
I'm
sure.
just going to unmic you, and then you can walk down the, come a little closer to me.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe if we took a moment long enough to realize